Hello, hi everyone. I am Burji sir. Today in this video lesson, I am going to discuss the non-finite verbs in English. Dear students, at the very outset, it's very important for us to know the meaning of non-finite verbs. Please remember the meaning of non-finite verbs or definition of non-finite verbs. If you want to know, please look here. A verb which doesn't indicate the tense and doesn't agree with the person and number of the subject is called a non-finite verb. Once again, please look here. A verb which doesn't indicate the tense and doesn't agree with the person and number of subject is known as a non-finite verb. In addition to this, I'd like to share with you one very simple and meaningful definition of non-finite verb. Please listen. A verb which is not finite verb, a verb which is not a finite verb is known as a non-finite verb. Please remember, a verb which is not a finite verb in the sentence is a non-finite verb. Finite opposite word is non-finite, that's it. Okay? Then naturally one question comes to our mind. What are the non-finite verbs in English and how to understand them and how to recognize them when they are given in the sentence? If you want to know these things, I'd like to share with you 5 simple points and 5 simple ways. If you come to know all those 5 simple ways, definitely you will be able to understand and recognize the non-finite verbs whenever they are given in the sentences. Okay, in which the first one, let us say. Dear students, all the present participles in English are non-finite verbs. What are they? Present participles. All the present participles are known as non-finite verbs. Then what are the present participles? Please remember, for example, crossing. Cross, ing form is crossing. And play, ing form is playing. Okay? Read, ing form is reading. Write, ing form is writing, etc. So you came to know the present participles are nothing but ing forms. And these ing forms, please remember, indicate the action in progress. And these ing forms are used in the continuous tenses. Got it? For example, see here, Dinesh is crossing the bridge. What's the sentence? Dinesh is crossing the bridge. This sentence contains a subject like Dinesh, and is, you know it, finite verb, crossing, ing form. It's known as present participle and it's a non-finite verb. All the helping verbs in the English which come immediately after the subject are finite verbs. Other than finite verbs, all the other verbs are known as non-finite. Especially here, the present participle is used. It's a non-finite verb. Next example, my friends. You know, my friends were crossing the bridge. Please look here. My friends were crossing the bridge. See, the subject of this sentence is my friends. And the word which I use here is were. And again ing form is there. Second sentence, you know that is in past continuous tense. First sentence, you can definitely recognize it's in present continuous tense. Even though I changed the sentence with the verbs, helping verbs, tense I've changed, subjects I've changed. Okay, only finite verb changes here. Is indicates present, were indicates past. But what about the ing form? It didn't change. So present participle doesn't change though you change the tense, subject of the sentence. Okay, here present participles are known as non-finite verbs. I think it is clear. Secondly, please remember past participles. Past participles in English are also considered as non-finite verbs. What are the past participle forms? Crossing is present participle and its past participle form is, do you know, crossed. Playing is present participle, its past participle form is, can you guess, played. Okay. Reading is present participle. Do you know its past participle form? Or read. Okay. Similarly, writing is what kind of form? Present participle. Do you know its past participle form? Of course, it is written. Understand? Give is present form. And its past participle form, do you know? Given. Okay? Given, etc. These are known as past participle forms. See, past participle forms, do you know? They indicate completed action of the sentence, completed activities. And moreover, past participles are used after have forms and with be forms in English in order to indicate the passive forms. Is it clear? For example, Mercy has crossed the bridge. 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 See, here mercy is subject and has. It's a have form and it's finite verb. Got it? And past participle form is used after have form is known as non-finite verb. What is non-finite verb here? Crossed. All the past participle forms are known as non-finite verbs. Come on, one more example I'd like to give you in order to make you understand. That is Shabana. Now I'll change the tense. I'd like to use the word had to make it past perfect. Shabana had crossed the bridge. Come on. Now the first sentence is in present perfect and second sentence is in past perfect. Though we changed the tense, what about the main verb? Main verb remains unchanged. Past participle forms remain unchanged. Understand? Now, please remember the bridge. The bridge was crossed. The bridge was crossed by my teachers. Please remember, the bridge was crossed by my teachers. The bridge was crossed by my teachers. Come on, here the subject of the sentence is a bridge. And what is was here? Was is be form. After be form, what is there? PPF is there. Past participle form is there. So it's a sign of passivized sentence. Got it? Here, as you know that was is a finite verb and crossed is non-finite verb. Why? Because it's past participle form. Okay? Here, even in the second sentence, crossed is non-finite verb. I hope it's clear. Next, third method. Third method is to know non-finite verb is easy. Clear? In English, all the gerunds are also non-finite verbs. Now the question comes to our mind, what's the gerund? Please remember, gerunds are nothing but verbal nouns. Verbal nouns. Please remember, verbal nouns are known as gerunds. Clear? Verbal nouns. Verbal noun means ing forms when they are used as nouns in the sentence. They are called verbal nouns. For example, you know it, reading, okay, writing, then swimming, okay, then walking, okay, listening, etc. Say, these are basically ing forms. When they are used after be verbs like am, is, are, was, were, be, been, they are known as present participles. And when the same ing forms are used as nouns in the sentence, they are called gerunds. Got it? For example, reading makes a man ready. Reading makes a man ready. Okay? It's interesting example. Reading makes a man ready. Here in the sentence, reading is subject of the sentence. What is the subject here? Ing form is used as the subject of the sentence. And makes is finite verb. Then what's the non-finite verb in the sentence? Please remember, reading itself is non-finite verb. Why? Because it's used as a noun in the sentence. Then, please remember, I like teaching. I like teaching. Clear? What's the subject here? I. And like is main verb, so it is finite verb. And what's the object in the sentence? You please notice here, teaching itself is object of the sentence. Clear? Come on. It is a non-finite verb. One simple point you have to keep in mind, that is, whenever ing form in English is used as a noun in the sentence, that noun form is called what? Gerund. Gerund is nothing but ing form being used as a noun in the sentence. Got it? Listening and reading are receptive skills, whereas speaking and writing are expressive skills. Here, in the first sentence, reading and listening are receptive skills, gerunds. Two gerunds are used. Speaking and writing are called what? Expressive skills. Incoming skills, outgoing skills. Got it? I hope you understood what's meant by gerund. Saying is very easy and doing is very tough. Okay? Even saying and doing are gerunds. Come on. Now, let's move to the next step. The fourth way to understand non-finite verb is the fourth type of non-finite verbs. The fourth type of non-finite verbs are, please remember, two infinitives. In English, please remember, all the two infinitives are also non-finite verbs. Infinitive means, two infinitive means 2 plus original form. For example, to cross, to play, okay? Then to read, then to write, etc. Okay, 2 plus V1. What do you see here? 2 plus V1. 2 plus V1, 2 plus RF, or 2 plus original form. Whenever you see in the sentence, it's a sign of to infinitive. And the basic idea to be kept in mind is to infinitive is a non-finite verb. Got it? Okay. For example, I want to cross the bridge. Here, I want. Here, want is finite verb, you know it. And to cross is a non-finite verb. Why? Because it is a to infinitive. Clear? One more example. To err is human. To err is human. And to forgive. To forgive is what? Divine. Understand? Here what are the two infinitives? To err. Here to infinitive is used as a subject of the sentence. Again to forgive. For the second sentence, to forgive is used as a subject of the sentence. I hope it's clear. Okay. Last kind of non-finite verb is, please remember, bare infinitives. Bare infinitives. All the bare infinitives also are non-finite verbs. Please remember. And where are the bare infinitives used? The question is, bare infinitives means original forms like cross, read, now, do, sit, etc. These are original forms. Okay? Original forms or V1s are used after number 1. Do, I mean NT, don't, doesn't, and didn't. After don't, doesn't, didn't, we are supposed to use original forms. Understand? Original forms, I mean V1. This V1 is called bare infinitive. This is called bare infinitive. For example, I don't know, I don't know, or I don't cross. I don't cross the bridge. Please remember, I don't cross the bridge. Suppose the subject is he doesn't cross the bridge. If you want to say the same sentence in past tense, I didn't cross the bridge. Clear? Come on. Second way, after modal, modals plus V1 we use. Modals, after all the modals, we would like to use bare infinitives. Modals are, you know it, shall, should, can, etc. Got it? Please remember, I can cross the bridge. I can cross the bridge. Here in this sentence, what is finite verb? Can is finite verb, and cross, it is used in original form. So it is known as bare infinitive, and bare infinitive is a non-finite verb. Got it? Okay. And third way is whenever in the sentence a causative verb is there. Causative verbs, C-A-U-S-A-T-I-V-E, causative verbs will be followed by V1. So V1 is known as non-finite verb. For example, I make you learn to speak English. I make you learn to speak English. Please remember, here in this sentence, make is finite verb. Do you agree with me? This is finite verb. Why? Because the word may is used immediately after the subject. This is finite verb. Okay. After the finite verb, see the verb learn. It is in original form. And it is non-finite verb. In particular, it is called bare infinitive. And one more verb is there, to speak, 2 plus V1. So it is called bare to infinitive. Understand? This is also non-finite verb. I hope it's clear. Do you have any doubt? I don't think you have no doubts now. Dear students, so far I am sure you came to know what's meant by non-finite verbs and what are the non-finite verbs and how to understand and recognize non-finite verbs whenever they are given in the sentences. And at last, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video and see you next time with another interesting topic in English. Till then, bye.